Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me. I'm literally restreaming myself at the moment because I thought it would be funny. Hi. Welcome to SONAFLEKI, everyone. I really like this game. This is a great game. It came out the Fangame Awards, so 5 months ago now or something. It's a game where you play this little bird. If you're wondering where the bird is right now, hold on, let me make sure I get the chat up. I want to talk to you guys too. If you're wondering where the bird is right now, I kind of got him stuck in the wall. Look, he's over here. He's doing a little dance. Well, there he is. That's the bird. But anyway, it's about time to get going, so I'll just get us over here. Alright. Alright, so before we even get going, I'm gonna just delete this save I was using to practice. So this is kind of New Game Plus. So basically, normally you're supposed to start with a random type of jump, of double jump, or single jump actually. For the speedrun, we're gonna start with a normal double jump, and also we get to skip all the cutscenes. You're not gonna see any of those. But alright, we're gonna get going, and I'm not even gonna give myself a countdown. The walls, come on. What is Wolsk doing getting on the machine? Oh, now I gotta look and wait for Wolsk to do his things on the machine. Come on, Wolsk, let me just start. I'm gonna start my own timer. Come on. Alright. Here we go. Alright, and 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we're gonna skip the intro cutscene. So, yeah, I hope you read all the controls there. Alright, you're done. I'm not gonna tell you the controls anymore. So this is SONAFLEKI. You control this little orange bird. And you're kind of, you know, you can tell it's saying it right there actually in the top left. This is a dream. We're gonna collect our first jump types. Normally this would be random, but since we set the start, we're starting with the double jump, which is just a regular double jump. It doesn't have a fixed height or anything. If you've played I Want to Be the Guy Fangames, this is about as standard as it gets. You got your jump, you got your double jump. Already, if you're used to I Want to Be the Guy Fangames and you're looking at this, you can kind of already see a lot of differences with regular physics. There's a lot of acceleration, deceleration. This definitely doesn't have the sort of precise controls you would expect. It's a lot more freeform, but it also creates a lot more flow. So here's our first stage is done. We received some gratitude and we saved a birdie. So that's the goal for the game. Well, the goal for this speedrun. We're going to collect all 100 birdies. We're going to save them. And then we're going to beat the game. Here's our first stage. There are 15 stages in this game. Each stage locks you in to a specific jump type. So you need to have unlocked the jump type before you can actually play the stage. Thankfully, this stage requires the double jump, and it's right next to where you start with the double jump. It's a very much the kind of a grasslands stage, so I think it's perfect to start this run off. The apples are nice, the oranges are bad. We all know this. Gotta be careful here, because right, I forget they fall faster at the end. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, there are 15 stages, 3 for every single jump type. They're basically the main goal of the game, if it's not 100%, is to collect the 5 jump types and get a certain amount, I think it's 40 birdies saved, plus the 5 jump types, which unlocks the final stage. We're obviously going to be trying to get every single thing. So there's 15 main stages on top of a whole bunch of stuff in the hub. The 15 main stages, there's 3 for every single jump type, so this is the first of the 3 stages that are gonna use the regular double jump. It's got apples, it's got oranges, it's got these switches that move these sort of platforms. Kind of open the path as we hit the switch, the little troll there. This is very often a game about kind of getting in a flow state and just... It's honestly not too dissimilar to, like Mario World, if I had to guess. It's a lot less about precise movements and just kind of feeling your way through really cool set pieces. The main stage is also pretty short. Like, that's actually the last save of this first stage. Be careful here, if you hit this from below it doesn't work. And here's a little birdie. Boom. We received gratitude. So this section here, this is actually the hub. If I remember correctly, it's... I know, because I made a map for this game. Basically, this whole hub is like giant interconnected. It's got like screen wrap and everything around the entire map. It is ridiculously big. I think it's 225 rooms, which I think is like 15 by something. I don't know, it's very, very big. It looks beautiful. You see a lot of like different styles, a lot of different music too. All the music's great. So what we did right there was a delivery quest. There's 5 of these, 15 by 15, awesome. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different little challenges in the hub that you can do to get a couple extra birdies. There's 5 of these delivery quests where you go pick up something and you have to deliver it to a specific person somewhere else on the map. Obviously, I know exactly where to go. And next to this starting point is actually 2 very convenient delivery quests. Delivery quests award 2 birdies, so they're really good. Can I show the map? If you remind me at the end of the run, I can probably... it's not on this computer, actually. I can maybe get it, I'm not sure. Alright, we just unlocked the second jump type there. It's the quad jump. So it's, instead of having one big double jump, we have a bunch of smaller double jumps instead. So it's a lot more control than the double jump for like less height. You gotta be careful about routing. Basically, you need a certain amount of birdies to unlock the jump types. So we made sure to get a certain amount of birdies before we could come here and get the jump types. I made this entire route myself with the map. A lot of it is based around getting the jump types as early as possible, because again, there are certain stages we cannot do until we get the jump types. So for example, right after getting this quad jump, we're going to go over here. Even though we passed by here earlier, we couldn't go here because we didn't have the quad jump. This is the blue bottles. This is the second of the 15 stages. A bit more of an auto-scroller type stage. You hit the buttons and we've got these like blocks on paths, which we're going to use to platform our way through. And so this is kind of what shows off the quad jump specialty. We're able to like hang a bit more in the air, have like a lot more control over where we're going. We're not necessarily able to cover a lot of like height with it, but we're better at controlling where we're going. And here we just have to get pretty far ahead of it, and then we wait for this to unlock the path for us. Here it makes a beautiful little shape. Each main stage actually has like a couple of different gimmicks it introduces. There's a lot of variety. Honestly, this game is like super varied. Each time it feels like something's gonna like get out of style, the game usually throws you something new. So here they're kind of like super fast instead. And we're just going to the switches to open the path. And here we have a cactus on a path. Way to be careful there. I'm trying to like get a little ahead of it. It doesn't really save that much time, but yeah, one thing you might also be seeing, if I hit a wall, like I bounce off of it. Again, it's kind of like what tells me that this game is more about a flow state. It kind of wants you to like conserve momentum a lot more than anything else. And that is blue bottles. Each stage gives a certain amount of birdies based on its difficulty. So I think this gives, it's like a 3-star, so we get 4. Or maybe it was a 2-star, so we got 3. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, we're gonna head back out of this cave, back over here where we were, and we're gonna drop down earlier. Here's another fetch quest. We gotta give the birdie its gamer gear. Probably the tightest fetch quest in the game. If you don't know where you're going, this is really hard. Thankfully, we do know where we're going. And we've delivered the gamer machine. We're going to backtrack a little bit to get bamboo catching water. I really love this stage. This is the second of the double jump stages, the regular double jump. And it features these timed warps, I guess. And so this is a lot about, like, maybe slightly more puzzly, but also conserving momentum. See, we have the ones that make us go fast, and we're going to combine it. The paths through the stage are, like, so cool. Do this, and then we're going to hit this at the right time. Make it up here. Hit this, and then just wait a little bit. There we go. And now just when you think you're getting tired of the warps, oh, here's new warps, colored warps, and we're going to combine all of these together. Hit this, go here, oh, there's another time, and then we're going to hit this at the right time, do a big jump over here, and then here we're just going to try stalling for time basically, so we can recover our jump, get this one, and I managed to squeeze in that gap. That was awesome. It's very hard to control this little bird exactly how you want to control it, but it feels great when you actually do. There's a little maze. Thankfully, I believe I know exactly where I'm going. Yep, I do. Now we need to backtrack a little bit to go over here instead. So we get the dash at the right time. And here is the last screen of bamboo catching water. Just jump here. And over here, and fun fact, pick a pipe. Well, we've got the right one because they're all the correct pipe. So far, so good. And a little more backtracking. Oh yeah, no, it's probably one of the most puzzly stages in this game. Here is kind of a little... So on top of the fetch quests, there's some other types of challenges that you can find in the overworld. Here's kind of like a Shadow Mario sort of situation. This is where I use the walk quite a lot. You just gotta live for the intended duration, and you get a little birdie for it. We're gonna go back here and unlock the next jump type for us. The hold dip. This is what I started my casual playthrough with, and it was... This is probably the second hardest jump type to get used to. So when I jump, it actually sends me downwards, and then as I keep holding it, I'll get sent upwards at the end. It kind of is exactly what it says. It's the hold dip. You dip, and then you go back up. Very, very hard jump type to get used to, but you get some pretty cool scenarios with it. Like that, you can go under this. You get these little dips. It feels great when you actually get them. For overworld movement, it's not particularly useful, so you won't see me using it too much. But the stages that use it are very cool. And down here, we have the second of the quad jump stages, Art Museum, which I believe is developer Kitty Games' favorite stage, if I'm not mistaken. So the gimmick here is on the top right, you can see it says 1. What that means is every single time I do a jump off the ground, it's going to go down by 1, and if it reaches 0, I can't jump anymore. But I'm allowed to use air jumps as much as I want. Whoop. So here it says 1, I can't jump on the ground at all, otherwise I lose my jumps forever. And here we have these little rotating platforms. You can smack them and they're going to flip around. If you just walk on them, they're not going to flip. So with that, we're going to start making our own paths. There we go. Oops. I want to actually keep my jump there. There we go. And so yeah, pretty much every single screen in this stage is either exactly one room or like slightly extended one room. Alright, new gimmick here, we have to collect the birdies, and once we have all the birdies, the door opens. So now we have to like plot a path throughout the level to get all the birdies while keeping our jump. Over here. Alright, I wasn't supposed to jump there? Yeah. Didn't have my double jump anymore. There we go. And I just walk off. This is not my personal favorite stage, but I completely understand why KG thinks it's his favorite stage. And be careful here not to flip that. Oh yeah, okay. This is one of the biggest like RNG sections in the entire game. So we start with no jump, so I can't jump, I can't double jump at all. And we just need to make our way back and forth a certain number of times while dodging these randomly spawning flowers. Whoop. And so far RNG's been fairly nice to me, but sometimes the game decides that you don't have a path and you just kind of have to accept that you don't have a path. There we go. That was actually really good art museum. Alright, we're gonna go down here, do a little more overworld movement. We're gonna find one of the other gimmicks on the overworld, which are the batteries. So the batteries, you touch them, you activate them, and you get warped to a specific location on the overworld, and you get a birdie for it. So in the routing, I think there's 5 of those batteries scattered around the overworld, so we have to make sure we get all 5 of those and plan the routing for that. Next to this battery, there's a little catch challenge, I like to call them. So these cat statues, they start this little mini-game, which I believe is inspired directly from Flicky, which is one of the main inspirations behind this game. And you just catch the little birdies, and if you get enough of them, then you get a little birdie. And here's a musical challenge. We just have to collect all the birdies in a certain amount of time. And now we're going to go to, for me, one of the hardest stages in the run. We're going to Butterfly Knife. In-game, it's also considered one of the hardest stages. It's all the way over here. This is the 3rd of the stages that require the quad jump, so you won't see the quad jump again much. So yeah, it's one of the 2 stages that have 5 stars of difficulty. And it deserves it, but it's also pretty cool. You get a lot of momentum out of these things. These like catapults. You really need to know exactly where you're going on this one. I would say most of this level is actually pretty fine. It's got a lot of like really cool momentum stuff. Here you got the uppers. If you hold jump on them, you get a lot more upward momentum. And here we have a couple timed sections here. Once you hit this laser, the gate on the right is starting to close. Yeah, I would say the majority of this level is actually not too hard when you really know what you're doing. It just has one really problematic section that basically makes it a 5-star, and it's this. This is the last save of Butterfly Knife, so like we really like went through the stage very quickly. But you'll start to see why this save is a problem. Yeah, Knit Underground is also one of the inspirations behind this game. So as you can see, there's still no save or end in sight. And so that's the problem with this. This is why this is really hard. It's, I believe, 6 rooms that you have to do back to back. It's unquestionably one of the hardest single saves in the entire game. which is why I have it actually pretty early in my route. This is the last room, though. Gonna wait, should take this very slowly, I don't want to mess this up. Well, never mind, I messed it up. Mwah, mwah. That's fine. For me at this point, I've practiced this enough that like the only tough section is the last screen. So my consistency on getting to the last screen is very high. I just unfortunately don't have a lot of good consistency on the last screen. I love the momentum this game gives you. Like, you go so fast off of these catapults. Yeah, that's like I always want to go at that time, but it's the worst time to go. That's fine. The 130 estimate is actually fairly generous. My PB right now is like I think it's 119. And it, like, I probably could get under 115. Alright, there we go. And we have done it. So that's one of the hardest sections of the run done. Yeah, only got 8 deaths, but all those deaths were very costly, so it is what it is. And now we're gonna get out of here through a nice little battery put right here. Inconvenient location, places us back here. We've been here earlier. And we're gonna go down here to this little section. This little section of the map kind of, it's pretty much in the middle of the map for me. It's really inconvenient because you have 2 fetch quests. And you also have a battery in there, so we need to like make a lot of trips to this one location. So it's a bit of a pain to route. We're going to take this pickaxe pretty far over here to this little bird. Come on, make it up. We're going to go up here and collect our 4th jump type. Now this is the most powerful jump in the game. We get a 4th because 100% it doesn't really matter. This is the high jump and flutter. So you get one really big jump, and you also get this huge flutter, which also has the best sprite in the entire game. Look at this little flutter thing. Look at how it flutters. I love this sprite. This is actually, I love this sprite. A little flutter. But yeah, this jump type is incredibly powerful for hub movement. It's also great for starting with, because all 3 of the stages that require this jump type are actually really close to this starting location. I did not personally choose it as the starting location for my route because of reasons I don't remember. There's a loose birdie hanging right there. And we're going to go into Urban Sift. I think my 2nd favorite stage. So we have these chains that kind of send us flying in a specific direction. We got obstacles. No. And we also get to see, this is the one stage where like you could use the flutter. We're kind of like open wind right now, and the flutter actually sends us flying upwards. I'll take this little path over here. And here's a twist on the rings. These look like similar rings, but they have a blue flame on it. I can't move after entering one of these, so I gotta be careful on like where I'm entering it, because I have 0 control over the birdie afterwards. There we go. So that's a blue flame, I need to dodge it. That's the orange flame. And that one sends us right into the spikes, so we're going to dodge it. another outside section. Try to get to the bottom as fast as possible. Do the upwards climb through the pendulums. Want to get a bit more height here so we can make this. Yep. Make this jump over here and then whoop, back across. All that speed. It's just so nice to have all that speed. Here we have to be kind of on the side. If you're in the middle, you won't get the upwards flutter, so you have to be on the side. We also got to dodge this pendulum. Go up. Alright, here's a bit of an RNG section as well. Gonna dodge these randomly falling, I don't really know what these are. You don't need a lot of height here. The right one's a trap. I'll take the left one. Now we need a little bit more height. So you don't actually want to take this, you want to go above it. Because if you take it, you just hit the spikes. Gonna reset here to reset the momentum, otherwise you kind of stay flying for a while. Yep. Actually gonna want to dodge all of these. And the big jump for the ending. Alright, that's Urban Sift. I really love that stage. Alright, from here we're gonna go to, not my least favorite stage, but probably the stage I'm the worst at, which is another high jump stage. It is How I Feel. The gimmick, well, it's pretty apparent. In fact, it's pretty transparent. So once I hit these like black lines, I turn from visible to invisible, and I have to use kind of other stuff like the grass and these flipping panels to figure out where I am. It's really difficult for me. It's also really difficult to do fast. I'm gonna try to squeeze through that. Okay, good. And I'm gonna hold left until I see I'm over here. Good. I'm gonna hold right. There we go. Okay, that's... Okay, that was a glitch. I don't know why. You're supposed to get transparent through that. And so here you're introduced to a new thing. Hold on, you need to fall off. There we go. When you're transparent, you can go through these blocks. So now you need to plot out your path using the lines and the blocks. Flutter, move left and right. There we go. So yeah, through a combination of the camera movement as well as the grass, I kind of just have like a good idea of where I am. But yeah, this is a very tough stage to be consistent at, if you ask me. Go right here and drop. Yep, there we go. Get invisible and then make our way back. Thank you for asking me, Flag. Alright, there we go. Here's a little avoidance section. Wow, this is pretty bad RNG. Just gotta live for a little while. Usually this is pretty easy. Every now and then it can be pretty rude, though. It seems to be fairly average right now. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen those somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Alright, here's the final gimmick of this stage. It's the pinwheel. So you kind of just make it spin, and it makes the spikes go back. There we go. So now we're going to bring everything together, do a loop around here. And then now I need to use the pinwheel kind of to guide myself as well as to make it spin. To unlock this over here. And then we do a lap here. There we go. So that we can walk to the ending. And I want to get this fully going, and then make our way over here. here. Yeah, you don't really need that pinwheel in the top middle. You can just do a little pass on the bottom pinwheel, and that's enough to open the path. All right, here you do this little pinwheel movement to open up the section. Another pinwheel jump. And now here's the big choke section. Get this fully going, and then now you just have to do the one jump at the end. All right, I got it. Despite not being required to, you still chose to be invisible. Right, honestly, all things considered, that's one of my better how I feel stages. Right now, for probably what causes the biggest like variance in run length, here are the frog challenges. I don't think I need to explain what's going on. I need to dodge all these bubbles for a certain amount of time. This is extremely random. The hitbox is fairly lenient as well. Alright, thank God that went well. But yeah, you can lose a lot of time on those. They're very hard. The phalanges, you get me, you get me. Alright, we're making another trip here to this dastardly section to do the other fetch quest. The final fetch quest of the hub, actually, is to deliver this flower. I'm going to switch to the flutter here. I'm going to go through the trash lands. Go back here. You might recognize this from earlier. I'm going to flutter over here. Deliver this flower. And this is where the 5th and final jump type is. But first we're going to go over here to take on this musical challenge. This is a pretty tight one. It should be fine if I can make that. Yep, alright. And here's the 5th and final jump type. It is the gravity, or the V-speed reverser. V-speed obviously standing for vertical speed. So you go down, and all of your momentum is transferred. You get a little bit more momentum than you put in. Yeah, so if I do like a small jump, I'm gonna get a small. Well, if I use it while I'm basically completely still vertically, I'm not gonna get a lot of height out of it. But you can do a big dip, get some more height, get some more height. I was originally not a fan of this gimmick until I experienced some of what this game has in store for this jump type, and I was very quickly converted. So this is actually the ending section of the game. Once you get the 5th jump type, you're automatically teleported here, and if you have enough birdies, you can just go to the end of the game. We do have enough birdies, but we're obviously doing 100%, so we are going to continue our quest. Going to go over here and collect this loose birdie, and drop down here for 6 feet pool end. This is probably the 3rd hardest of the main 15 stages. Pretty sick visuals too. So yeah, once you get the line, you get the clone following you, and if you touch the clone line at all, then obviously you die. There's a little bit of leniency, but it's generally better to avoid it entirely. This stage, honestly, for me, I think this is about on par with Butterfly Knife in terms of difficulty. It has a lot of really hard sections and some pretty wacky gimmicks. So here we have these kind of shields, and we're gonna collect -1s. I did not get the height there, excuse me. Not sure what happened. So yeah, these little badges have a number on them. Well, I don't know. Oh, come on, let me through. As we collect these -1s, the number goes down until eventually they disappear. There we go. So it seems fairly standard so far. But next screen, well, first off, we have a giant section here. You need to be very, very careful with your movement here. You're trying not to bounce on any walls. Because if you're not careful with your movement, the clone's going to catch up to you. That's game over. Alright, here's where it becomes nonsense. So here's the cue. I can't really explain it. You just kind of have to do it. I genuinely, like, I can't put this into words. You just have to, like, see how it is. And just, yeah, it works probably the way you think it works. Now, here's a cue in movement, which is even more confusing. A quick return to clone. I like that. Here the clone is, like, particularly close, so you gotta really haul. I'm gonna be careful about the path I'm making here, so I can cue to the correct spot later. There we go. And then here you can be a little cheeky, land on the edge there to get that. Makes that section much easier. A little maze. Gonna get all the -1s before we get the cue to warp back to the entrance. And yeah, again, this is where the precise movement, like, we're really trying not to bounce on any walls here. Because if we do, then it's kind of game over instantly. Get the cue and instantly jump out. The Q stands for go back. I like where your thoughts are at. Do a weird sort of hold dip here to fool the clone. And then we're gonna go there. Alright. And then now there's 2 birds for some reason. It looks sick, so I don't blame you. Again, very careful movement here. If you touch your own bird, then if you touch your clone bird, then it's over. And there we go. That's actually, honestly, a very good 6-foot pool end, all things considered. For me, it's one of the hardest stages for sure. Here, I believe I go over here. I don't have this section of the route very well memorized, but yeah, okay. Here's a cat challenge. Yep. For all of the cat challenges, we have like, these little birdies are going to move in different ways as well. Generally, the high jump and the flutter is going to be the best way to do almost all of the challenges. I think the only one I don't really use it on is the little frog challenges. Here, I'm probably going to switch to I'm gonna switch to something else that's not hold dip. Probably just normal. It's one of the tougher ones. I'm just gonna hang in the corner, and then when the bubbles stop spawning, we're probably gonna try to run to where the frog is to have as much dodging space as possible. Alright. Now we're going to flutter our way all the way down here. Into this little kind of ambient section. I always forget about this. Alright, hold on. There's a little... Yeah. I think I reported this a while ago, but this game hasn't received an update in a while. If you go through there, you soft lock. Exit and go back in puts you back. A little oopsie. Anyway, right up here there's a birdie. And down here is voices. This was the first stage I did casually. With the hold dip. I love the ambience of this stage. So with the hold dip, you got these like grapple points you can hang on to. Use the hold dip to make your way through with the windmills. And then also we're going to go to a landing point here to regain our double jump. And also flip these around. A bit of a slower stage. But we need those. We can't be going at a full speed all the time. I'll land here. And up here. I mean, all of this is happening in the dream world. If you want to call that the void, then I suppose you'd be within your rights. Yeah, so here we got the moving grapple points. You can control which way you move with them. So here we want this one to go to the right. And here we have the radio tower. Since it's flying. Gotta be careful with how you go flying with it. Like something really cool you do with both of them. Whee! Whee! I love that combo of the grapple point plus the radio tower. And there we go, and that's the end of the stage. Thank you. One death, very good. Alright, now we're gonna go down here. To this section down here. There we go. Right away, we're gonna go into another hold dip stage, the last of the three. Oil Slick. I think this one's probably my favorite of the three. I like what you do here. So we got these chains. If you touch them, it releases the spike, and then you can stand on spike. You can do a lot of very cool movement. To me, this is the stage that uses a hold dip the best. There we go. Also kind of got a jammer tune. Bounce on the wall here. Oh wait, I'm supposed to go here. There we go. And here is the Oil Slick you can use to gain speed. Here is the Castlevania 3 reference. Whoa. Okay, that was... I got walled there. We just gotta wait until it builds high enough for us to get out of here. A little bit more. Ah, that would have been enough. That's enough. There we go. And now once again, we're going to use the oil to build up a ton of momentum and do some fun wall bounces. But where there's oil, there's fire. Now we gotta be careful to dodge the fire that spawns. While the fire is dropping, it's not actually a killer. It's only a killer once it hits the ground. Thankfully, we dodged the fire, so there's no more fire now. Oh god. I'm a fool. I'm a liar. I didn't know any better. And here we go. The journey. Oh god, 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 oh god. I actually don't know if you can even die to that. Yeah, I love Oil Slick. Now we're gonna go back over here. There's a lot of challenges around here. So first there's a musical challenge. And then over here, I gotta be careful with my jumps here. If I make a bad jump, I might fall down. Probably the easiest of the frog challenges, because you can just kind of go up here and chill. And it makes the dodging way easier. You can absolutely still get owned here, but the odds are much lower. Of course, I said that and it tried to own me. There we go. And then one more over here. There's a cat challenge. You don't need to catch all the birdies, you only need to catch enough to make it to that little green smiley face up there. But if you catch all of them, it ends faster, so. And then we're gonna go over here for one more frog challenge. I believe this is the last one of the run, if I'm not mistaken. And also probably the hardest. This area is so open, and from the spawn point, it's just... This never goes well. Yeah. You can get really, really lucky here. The speed is random on top of the angle. So you can get like a ton of slow ones, and then it's actually fairly easy. Yeah. This is usually the one that takes the longest. Okay, so we got really lucky there. There's like a lot of slow ones, as you can see. Okay, that was a mistake. I should have gone to the bottom right, actually. I can actually show it off. You actually can't fall off. You just start bouncing. So if you want to get creative, you can start using the room border to dodge. Do there. Alright, excellent. And over here, sitting in the grasslands, it's screen time. I believe this is the last regular double jump stage. And the main gimmick here is these kind of extending platforms or extending spikes that only extend once you get close enough. It's not the hive. What are you talking about? Oh, you gotta jump over those. Oh, I didn't make the jump to the TV. I do believe this stage has the single, like, coolest section in the game, which I will absolutely call out when I get to it. It just looks right when you do it. There we go. And now we got the warpers, a little electricity current. And we're gonna start combining things. A pretty funny section here. You go up here and you start jumping to make it go lower. And the final new section, I forgot to save, so let me just do that real quick. You're just gonna start to spawn clones of yourself, which you can't really control them, you can only tell them to jump. And we're gonna have to guide them to these podiums so they can fulfill their duty and open the path for us. Alright, look at this. This is so cool. Alright, never mind. That's so cool. I love the way that goes. They look so good. Controlling both of those at once. Ah. Nothing brings me satisfaction quite like doing that save. Well, that's not true. There's also my favorite stage in the game, which is kind of full of moments like that. Yippee! Now we're gonna help this guy on his journey. Open up the path. And at the end, one tight jump. There you go. If you're just doing the regular clear of this game, I would say this is not a particularly difficult game. You can steer like away from the hard stages. Like, if you're just going based off of any percent, I would not particularly say that this is, like, any higher than a 50. If you're going for 100%, it's probably closer to, like, a 70, though. Alright, very good screen time. Alright, now the routing is going to get a little weird. We're going to start to have to, like, do weird paths to get a lot of speed. V-Speed Inverter is a fun jump type because it uncaps your vertical speed. So you can actually use it to get a lot of downward speed, which is ideal for some of the routing. You might remember this from earlier, the kind of Shadow Mario challenge. A lot of these Shadow Mario challenges are kind of trivialized by the walk. If I hold shift, then I basically like am walking on the ground, which allows me to do very small movements. I only really use it for these. And then we're gonna high jump across the trashlands to get to the first of the 3 gravity, well, I don't know why I call it gravity, V-Speed Inverter stages that we're gonna do. Pheromones. So this has the 2 primary gimmicks are, one, these like conveyors that move the blocks around, as well as the wall conveyors that carry you around. And they're great for stopping your momentum or giving you a lot of momentum. With the V-Speed Inverter, you don't necessarily have a lot of momentum you can generate on your own. So we're going to be using these wall conveyors to generate a lot of our vertical speed. Alright. Nope. I didn't mean to hit the wall there. I left way too early. Standing. Alright, and now we have the crushers, not the Maker crushers. Gotta wait for them to open up the way. Yeah, once you start seeing the cool jumps you can do with the V-Speed Inverter, you kind of start to understand why it's so good. Like, it makes no sense for the hub movement, but in these actual stages, it's so cool. Do a little walk-off jump here. Oops. A little too long on the wall. Gonna wait for the crusher to go, and now we're gonna go. Oops. There we go. Use the wall to stop all our momentum control when we go. Now we just need to go at a good time to get past the boxes. And here's the truth. It was nuclear waste the whole time. Alright, here's a little kind of avoidance section to finish off this stage. This used to be one of the hardest things in the game. Until it got nerfed into absolute oblivion. Like, you'll see when it ends. It's gonna end pretty soon, actually. So yeah, it ends there. This used to be about twice as long, and it kept ramping up. It was definitely one of the hardest things in the game. It was really, really tough. But now it is completely fine. We're gonna go down here into the trash for a little secret shadow section over here. I'm gonna start by going right a little bit. And then flutter downwards and then walk over to the left. There we go. And then back down here for the second of the V-Speed Inverter stages, Bird Bath. This is my least favorite stage. That doesn't mean it's bad, but I don't necessarily like a lot of what it's going for. It is very, very volatile. Basically, the main gimmick is the water makes the plants grow in pretty wildly unpredictable ways. I think this is general. A lot of people don't really vibe with this stage a lot. It is unfortunately what it is. Yeah, the tune is great. The unfortunate part about doing this in a speedrun is that you don't get to hear the... If you do it perfectly and it goes well, you actually don't get to hear like the most awesome part of the song at the end. Here you can also see you can combine the purple and the blue to make more purple. Purple takes away the grass, and we just have to sit here for a while as the path opens up. Actually gonna, yeah, we're gonna let this sit for a while so it actually creates a shield. And then we're gonna destroy the path under it. Then go over here. I'm gonna take this slowly because I don't want to die at the end. You can also grow the wood. I think that's wood, actually. I don't really know what that is, but... Go all the way across here, and then this one's not random. This is a pre-generated pattern. Opens up the path nicely. Alright, here the gimmick is don't get stuck in the wall. It's easier than it sounds. And there we go, I got stuck in the wall. That's how it is. Obviously you gotta try to like stay ahead of it, because if you go behind then you can't go further ahead, but on the crosses it's sometimes not particularly easy to not get stuck. Alright, here we open up a path in the middle. Jump across. And now everything's burning! Oh god, not again. Ah, this is where the song gets really good. I love this section. Alright, watch out for the spiders! This section is very volatile. The spider spawns are, like, the time at which these burn down is completely set. These spiders are completely random, the way they spawn. So we're just gonna do our best to dodge them. Ah, and we didn't. These are cute. These are little spooties. They're cute. Okay, I didn't know what to do there. Alright. One more layer after this. I'm just gonna... Yeah, I kind of had to go for it because I was getting stuck in the wall, but it is what it is. Yeah, but Bird Bath is just a little too volatile for me to really get the full enjoyment out of it. But at least the tune is awesome. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna try to go ahead here. You can, in theory, just wait and get a very quick path. Well, if you just wait, the path to the bird is very easy. Go ahead and not do that. Okay, now I am going over here to this section. There's a battery sitting somewhere over here. There it is. Warps us over here. Look, a little birdie. And down here is my favorite stage in the whole game, Ozone. This is the third and last V-Speed inverter stage, and this is what really made me fall in love with the gimmick. This is probably the most momentum-based stage in the game. So you can stand on these little pole tips. I think you need to keep your jump there. Yep. Yeah, you may be wondering, like, Cosmo, why is this your favorite stage? It looks pretty tame so far. And you're right. And you're right. Just you wait. This gets real awesome real fast. Gotta go up here to refresh. And here's why this is so cool. You get the, I don't know, the air blowers. Unfortunately, this also contains my least favorite screen in the game, which is this. Okay, cool. That was probably one of the hardest saves for me there. I know, it's like I just have to pretend it doesn't exist. Look at all these like super cool movements. The flow here is like unbeatable, honestly. Ah, too fast on the left. On the right, I mean. Donk. I was actually a bit worried that was maybe a bit too short. Go through here, a nice car outside, thank you. Here's a double blower. Get the wall bounce there. There we go. Boing. The switches on the wall are also a lot of fun. You hit them and also you bounce on the wall at the same time. Here's another cavern screen. I also don't particularly like this one, but it's, you know, it's a bit more bearable. You gotta hit that blower at like a very specific timing to make it all the way up top though. There we go. Boing, boing. And then one more. And now for the final save. A lot of the timings in this, they just kind of work. This stage really just kind of works. I probably could have made that, but I'm just going to wait. Here's the double blower. Boing! And now for a final little choke section. Oops. So I can just fall back down. There we go. And there's the little birdie. Alright, Ozone. Love that stage. Alright, after Ozone, I must reveal something. At the start of this run, I said there's only 5 jump types. I lied. There's a 6th one. Here's the secret 6th jump type. It's completely optional. And it's kind of impossible to find unless you make a map to really, like, reveal that. And so here's the dive. I guess it's kind of like a scrapped jump type. You can build up a ton of speed with it. So I'm sorry, everyone. There we go. It's really fun to play around with, but I can see why there's no like stage that uses it. We're gonna V-speed down here. I meant to fall over here, not there, but you know, it is what it is. And then go through here. This is a bit like, there's only a couple things left to grab, so this is kind of a, you know, we're wrapping things up. These are the couple things I couldn't really route in nicely. A few last challenges, one last stage. There we go. I believe that's the last of the cat challenges. Over here, one more trip to this little section in the middle of the map so we can get the battery. Brings us over here. And up here is the final Shadow Mario challenge. Also the longest one. Actually, I have to like take a pretty long path around this entire screen. And finish down here. The fact you can walk at the bottom of the screen makes this a little more trivial. Alright, 94. I believe the count is right. And then down here is the final stage. Nanoseconds. A high jump stage. A bit of an avoidance stage, actually. But there is a way to speed it up. Basically, you just want to get to the bottom as fast as possible in all of these, or meet the condition. This is actually one of the hardest saves in the entire stage. Sometimes you just kind of get owned by RNG here, and there's not much you can actually do about it. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I do quite like when you can actually like go super fast, or like try to go super fast. This is a great stage. So I'm gonna try to fall a little bit here. There we go. And then here, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Hit the ground to stop it early. And here we have introduced the green balls. The green balls are like the coins, you eat them. Alright, this can be a little tricky sometimes. The spawn on these green balls, I feel like it's often not particularly nice. Okay, that was pretty good. Here the balls always spawn below you, but the walls are random, so sometimes they'll kind of meet up in unfortunate ways. Like that. I can't really do much to grab that one, huh? This might be doable still. No, I don't think so. This stage definitely has like a bunch of saves where you're just kind of at the mercy of RNG, unfortunately. There we go. And the last gimmick here, the blue balls that give you a little bounce. There we go. Now we're gonna start bringing everything together. You gotta get the green, use the blue to stay up. I probably should touch that blue. Okay, saved. And now for the final save. This used to be a little bit harder. You used to have to collect 18 green balls here. It got nerfed to 13 on a patch. And conveniently, there's also 13 balls in the main two sections of this. The way this works is you have this section, which is kind of like a more random section. And then you have this, which is a bit more of a pattern, which I can hopefully remember. I think it used to not screen wrap as well. Yeah, unfortunately. I'm going to start with a pattern because I don't necessarily remember it very well. You get a random one every time you restart, either the pattern or the random. All the way across here. Get the green. Alright, and if we collect everything here, we should just be out. Yeah, I learned this before the screen wrap was added, so I don't really use it. There we go. And that is it. That is the 15th stage done. This brings us to 99 little birdies collected. And the final one is over here at a musical challenge. Ding. 100. Now we're going to go back down here. This actually puts us pretty close to the ending. The ending is actually right over here. This is the one use I have for dive to go across here. Sit on the bench. We have all 100 birdies. If you only have 40 birdies, if you have less than 70 birdies but more than 40, you get the easier outro. Also, okay, very genuine. I'm going to stop here for a second. Very genuine motion sickness warning. If you experience any sort of motion sickness, I'm sorry, just use audio for the next like 5 to 10 minutes. All right, you've been warned. This looks crazy. So this is where basically everything comes together. You have these triggers that give you a specific jump type. And so all the jump types kind of come together in specific ways. A V-speed into the flutter. Squeeze through here. And so yeah, this section is the section you would normally experience if you have less than 70 but more than 40. So a double jump into a flutter. It's a V-speed. Oh, damn it. Yeah, this section is... I don't know if I like it more than Ozone, but this final stage is very cool. It has some of the best segments in the entire game for sure. Into quad. Into a hold dip. Back to regular double jump. Into a flutter. And so this section is what you unlock if you have more than 70 birdies. Once again, you have the triggers that give you specific jump types. But on top of that, you also have jump refreshers, which refresh your specific jump type. So we're going to be doing double hold dips, quads into quads into quads. And here we go. Here is one of my favorite sections in the entire game. So you hold dip, no, okay, so this is V-speed, V-speed inverted here, here, hold dip, V-speed. It's so good. I love that section from the bottom of my heart. Oops. Just an excuse to do it again. Boing. A little quad to the finish here. And here is the one screen that reveals the, I didn't save! Oops. That is a blunder. I do every now and then forget to save. It's hard to remember. That's a nut press save. There we go. Alright, so there's a secret truth to the V-speed inverter. You can V-speed invert while you're going downwards to go, well, while you're going upwards to go downwards. So you get to do this little grade bounce here. Boing, boing, boing. Alright, here's the final save. It's one of the hardest saves in the game. It is 5 or 6 screens long, and each screen focuses on a specific jump type. So you kind of just have to follow the flow of the screen. Let it guide you to where you're supposed to go. We're going to flutter our way downward here. Through that. To the quad jump down here. Into the hold dip. This is the hard jump. Yeah, that hold dip jump right there is the hardest part of this save. If you can get past that, usually it's basically a clear. But the hold dip jump is so inconsistent. There we go. This section can also be a little tricky, because you don't want to bounce on the walls too much, otherwise you could send yourself flying into a spike. This is the awakening sequence. You can see the dream starting to fall apart in the background. Squeeze through here. Okay, I made it. Okay, let's see. Hold dip, hold dip. V-speed number through that, and that is SONAFLEKI. 115, that's a PB. Nice. Very good. This category can go very low, but yeah, this game requires a lot of consistency with the flow. Yeah, I absolutely love this game. Extremely fun in almost all aspects. I guess we have quite a lot of time now. Well, probably about like 15 minutes or so until next one. The map. The thing is, I'm on a different laptop. Let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can get it from the stream PC.
I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, is useful.
Although I definitely have to be a little bit worried that if I open it on the PC, it might crash. It's gigantic.
And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because
it's gonna be this folder.
Lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse signs, words, numbers, symbols, and ideas with the real world.
Yes, so the thing is, I don't really want to open it because it's a 9,600 by 7,200 image. It's 72 megabytes.
And to read about it the next day in the newspaper is oddly more fun for us than the original.
Let me see if I can do something.
This is a disaster.
Oh, my keyboard's not plugged in? Oh, Lord.
For as a result of confusing the real world of nature with mere signs, such as bank balances and contracts, we are destroying nature. We are so tied up in our minds that we've lost our senses.
It is an absolutely gigantic file size, yeah.
Wake up.
Time to wake up. Maybe I can like open it in a window and let's see. Yeah, hold on, let me hold on, let me I got this. Alright, so here's a map of the game. This is what it looks like if you have every screen come like together. So I made this entire map just to find these two rooms over here on the. You can't see the cursor, but like in the top left,
I have this
where the dive power up is.
My childhood.
That's how I found that.
Very much from my childhood, but I remember this one very specific thing. It was the first day of first grade, and my mother, in her car, pulls up to the school entrance and lets me out, wishes me a nice day.
Alright,
I walk up to the school entrance, and the
next
doors
run
are
in
locked,
22
and
minutes.
I'm panicking because my mom is starting to drive away.
I'm just gonna let the ending play out in its entirety,
I start pulling on the door
so I can actually save and get this PB save.
Sometimes I think
The credits are pretty cool too, so it's worth having.
And it does concern me to be that way, but at the same time, I know a lot of other people also feel like they're that kid. So maybe it's okay.
Maybe it's okay. I also get to finish this Red Bull so I can stay awake for the rest of the marathon. They're coming for me, I'm too fast. Yeah, I don't want to give like my end of marathon shoutouts just yet, because obviously we'll be doing that in like an hour or so. That's why you don't drink Red Bull. I'll learn the hard way. But yeah, again, some sections of this game are incredibly hard, as we said throughout the run, but like, don't let that stop you from trying it out. It doesn't really play like any other Fangame. It's kind of its own thing, inspired by Flicky on the Genesis and another game called Knit Underground. It's really its own thing, even though it obviously has a little bit of a I want to be the guy influence in the background. It's really, it doesn't play like anything else you've ever played, really. So yeah, shout out to the team for making this game. It is an absolute blast to play. I guess I'll actually unplug the keyboard back into the PC. There we go. I don't need my good computer. I don't need my blah, 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 blah. I don't need my good keyboard anymore. Go back to controlling the stream PC. And there's a lot of music. A lot of the hub songs are they're like short 20-second song loops. Very atmospheric. It's true. In the original, I have a stream remote on for the game because there's exactly one song that gets a copyright strike on YouTube, and so KG replaced it. That's true. We've seen this game on Twitter for quite a long time before it came out. It was the one in a bamboo catching water. For some reason, it was blocking the video in the United States. There we go. And now I'm awake forever. Until next time, KG. Thank you for playing. And I will end it here. Thank you so much for watching the run, everybody. We have one more run left for Fangame Marathon. It is a run that I believe we are all looking forward to. It is Super Monkey Ball Gaiden by DMT Goobs. We do love Monkey Ball. There's the mystery finale game, but, you know, one more main run. Super Monkey Ball Gaiden by DMT Goobs. I believe we're all looking forward to this. And, yeah, we'll start getting set up for that. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.